There you go. You're being recorded, mate. Anything that you say shall be used and turned against you.
I don't care.
So, first of all, can you introduce yourself? This is Paul Thomas. Tell us all about you.
Yeah, I'm Dr. Paul Thomas. I work with you and with DNA and various other kind of organisations. But I suppose about 10 years ago, I decided to kind of put complexity theory into practice, and it's been a kind of bit of a passion for the last, well, at least 20 years, but actually doing it for the last 10 to 15 years. I'm old. I'm from Wales. I've fallen apart, but I have all my own hair and teeth.
Good. Better than me then. So, apart from the stuff that you do, which is about teaching other people leadership and complexity theory and all that sort of thing, as I was saying earlier before we started recording, there's lots of people out there saying this is what we should do and stuff like that. But there's actually, I'm looking for explorers and pioneers that are actually doing stuff.
Yeah.
And I think the biggest challenge we've got is we all know that we're disillusioned. You'll have to look at the news to that ain't working.
Yeah.
But how do you switch to a new paradigm without starving in the meantime? And there's not going to be one pathway there. It's going to be emergent. It's going to be different for different contexts.
Yeah.
So the gym. Do you want to explain a bit about the gym?
Yeah, the gym was very much. It's first of all organic. So it's not something that I suddenly thought I'll get up and this is what I'll do. We started off in my garage with a couple of bits of equipment. People were almost kind of disillusioned with the leisure centres and with the private gyms, too expensive or just the wrong stuff. And all I did was listen to friends, rugby players, mates, coaches, etc., what they wanted, bought some bits of equipment, and it just simply grew as a result of that. But going back to what you originally said was is doing something and also kind of not starving to death. I think in any concept, I think there's an element where you struggle, where you suffer, and that's something that I've certainly learned over the last kind of, certainly the last 4 or 5 years, but certainly over the last 10 years. You can't do anything without that element of you're fighting people, you're going up against systems, you're trying to compromise from the systems, and because setting up the gym, it's a charity gym. It's about people who are disadvantaged. It's about but still providing them with a high quality gym, with all the equipment that they would find in a top end facility. And sometimes they can come in and go, I don't have any money, or till Friday or next month. Can I still train? And the answer is yes. But what we now do is say, well, yes, but you have to volunteer, or you have to clean a machine, or fix a machine, or weld something, or paint something. And it's been overwhelming in terms of the response that we've had. We've got 24 volunteers that man the desk. We've got cleaners. We've got PTs that volunteer. They work to people who are disadvantaged, who've never been in a gym before. And I would say probably 60 to 70% of our people coming in have never been in a gym. And they are normal people. They're not the kind of beefy weight trainers, and then there's a mix of the youngsters. You, of course. This is all clothing. But goodness me, it's been a struggle. I'm getting up at 4 a.m. in the morning, because the volunteers fail to turn up, or something happens. I'm closing down. I'm mopping on Christmas Day, Boxing Day. I opened up. The rest of the Christmas week, I clean floors, mopped, paint. So it's not this wonderful panacea of perfection. It's people. With people, it's hard work. But the rewards, when I walk through there now, and there are 40 people in that gym at the moment, I would say 30 people have never been in a gym before, and they're suddenly losing weight, feeling fit. They're coming off medication in terms of mental health. The depression is staying away. It's never going to go away, but it's staying away. Then we've got people in, they're talking to each other. They're having coffees outside. We've got to put a coffee machine in for people to have coffee. Then they complain that there's no tea, so I have to get a tea machine. But now I'm getting to the stage where they say, "Oh, can we have a coffee machine?" I go, "Well," and I go, "Oh, don't worry, we'll get one." And then they source a cost. So they work then all the kind of various other voluntary sectors and say, well, we want a coffee machine in the gym, or it's a private gym. Well, it's not, it's a charity. Oh. And then suddenly we get tables, chairs, sofas. We've had coffee machine delivered. We've had cups delivered. Too many, but it's that type of. But it's all based on, and I know you know this, but it's all based on trust. We have to trust the people. We give them full access, 24/7 access to the gym. So it's not as if we're controlling any element of it. Some things fall down, some things break, but we trust the people in the room to go, oh, I did that, sorry, I'll get it fixed. Or, you know, there's so much equipment in there that the people could take. And we have a couple of communities in Pontypool that are perhaps, let's say, less cohesive, I've been very political, but you know, they're not very trusting, and yet they're still using the gym. And because I'm straight talking with them. Look, you mess around, I'm going to ban you. If you don't take care of this equipment, it's going to fall apart for me as well as everybody else. They've been brilliant. They've absolutely left us alone. You know, we put T-shirts up, we put equipment out that could easily be lifted, and all the time, all we've had is a football, it was a bizarre story, but a football go missing. And we just think that's a kid coming off the street, seeing the football, and thinking, well, I'll go and play with that, and then I'm taking it out. So it's hard work. It's definitely kind of aged me, but oh goodness me, the spirit as a result of it. Of course, when people hear that when they pay their money, whatever that is, their membership. I keep saying, what's a donation? Actually, it's not a membership. You pay a monthly donation to the charity to keep it going, and then you know, some people will pay £10, some people will pay a £5, some people will pay £100 a month. It's just brilliant. It's amazing the kind of difference that's making. But it's all based on, for me, trust. You have to trust, even when they don't know, and you know that's not going to work. You still have to allow them to go through that process of discovering whether it works or not. But it's coming into its first year of full operation. We'd have been open way before that, for COVID. But it's yeah, and I want to expand. So I want another 2 or 3 by the end of this year.
Another 2 or 3 by the end of the year.
Yeah.
So yeah, you like a challenge, don't you?
Yeah, I got, well, you know, it's the concept is easy here because we've now sourced equipment from China. We've always had recycled or refurbished equipment because again, there's an ecological part to this. We don't use plastics, single-use plastics. We insist people bring in water bottles. If they don't, we provide water bottles. We have water on free. We even give away protein and if they bring their own bottle. So it's a real incentive to do that. And it was a thing for me about equipment, the rubber flooring, the rubber mats. There's so much out there that's just simply thrown to tip. So most of our flooring is secondhand. The only thing that we've now got to get into is we're going to China for the equipment, purely for the fact that we can buy an entire gym for, we can buy 3 gyms for the price I just paid for that one gym. So there's a little bit of me that's torn, but we have to do it in order to expand. And the bigger picture for me is getting people healthy, getting people off, mental health drugs and depression and all of that stuff, and that spiral that they're in. So it's.
I should imagine there's some hidden changes that people are going through anyway, just by coming, like you say, the people who are in a environment predicts behavior. You're creating an environment that's actually changing behaviors. People from, as you say, less advantaged places are changing their behavior, aren't they? They're being trusted, and then, oh right, okay. Yeah.
Oh, they're shocked that we don't tell them what to do. They're shocked that there's no. Then we go in there. There are rules to the gym. There's a bit of an etiquette to the gym, but they should pick it up. Don't drop the weights. Put the weights out after you and wipe down because of COVID. But you should be wiping down anyway, regardless of COVID. But they certainly pick up on this etiquette. They go, and they're now telling other people. So when somebody else comes in, they go, oh, by the way, you need to put your weights away. This is volunteers. There's no staff here. And you're thinking, phenomenal.
It reminds me of being in the military, where they used to get the guy who was always in fights, making the regimental policeman.
That's it.
Yeah, no more fighting down here.
Yeah.
Give them responsibility.
Yeah. And they do the loving part, and I think that's the key to it. Is what we're putting in place is a social system. What we're putting in place is the kind of boundaries of Because if they ruin it, it will disappear. If they don't pay up, they disappear. If they damage machines, it will disappear. And then this thing that they really enjoy, which they now own, because they feel as if they own it. I publish the accounts, I publish the equipment that we buy, they choose the equipment that we buy. So I very rarely make a decision in this environment, and nor should I. There's people out there that because you can assume that they want a specific machine. I think because I think they want a machine, but that's a sense of arrogance, it is. Whereas actually I ask them, they go, no, that's the last thing we want. Idiot, it's kind of but that for me reflects into management leadership, where you think because you've been in the organization 20 years and you have an MBA, you're able to make decisions for the rest of the people in the organization, and you're not. You're there to coach. I'm there to. There's some youngsters out there that our PTs range from, what are they, 18 to say 24. They're all wet behind the ears. They're all, you look at them and think, oh, you have so much life left, so many mistakes to make. My job is simply now to coach them, saying, oh, look, I wouldn't do that. One guy called him, he wanted to kind of give himself a brand identity. So he kind of called himself Ibiza Boy. And I went, well, how does that reflect? Now, just think about it now. Of course, I didn't know he'd already printed the posters. I went, how does that reflect on your image as a PT? Well, I'm vibrant, I'm young. I said, no, it doesn't. Just party boy, isn't it? Drugs, alcohol, and you can see him sitting there going, oh, yeah. So the palm trees don't work in Pontypool, do they? Not really. So we helped him out. We said, look, recycle them, and let's get some proper proper pictures. I think PT Elite, I think was he came out with, and just little things like that is almost kind of giving back, and the more you give back, the more comes back.
So they're learning by being in that environment as well, aren't they? So you're not just the clients that you're helping, but
no, yeah. PTs. Nobody knows. I keep. I've got a business plan. Our PTs, for example, or our sports therapist, and you go, yeah, great. I got off the web. I said, that's not what it's about. What's your clientele? How much are you going to charge? What happens if they don't turn up? All the really fundamental basic stuff is, and it is hard work. And I think a lot of people come into employment and thinking that, well, I'll just get paid and I just turn up, and no, you have to clean the floors. You have to clean toilets, change the toilet rolls. It's blocked, the toilet. Who's going to clean it? You're on duty. Unfortunately, it's you. So it's a lot of that. And because you see these 19-year-olds thinking, no, I want no glamour. I want to walk around in a t-shirt and a polo shirt, show my muscles, and it's not. And that again reflects back into every sector I've gone into, bank, NHS. You've got these people are there for just the pay. They won't last in this environment because the staff will have them. If they don't put the bins out. If you don't mop the floor at the end of the night, even though you're shattered, they'll get you the next day. They self-regulate. They want high performance. They want quality. None of these people want to come into a gym that's got rubbish or dirt, dirty gym. And instantly you'll see anybody from Kyle to Richard telling people off in a nice way, but like it's not good enough. I've had to clean it this morning. So it's
you get that from like the elite team, high performing project teams, whatever. Is that mutual accountability, isn't it? Alignment between the mission and purpose and values.
Yes.
Mutual accountability, agency and autonomy.
Yeah, that's it. Yeah. And it's I'm talking about autonomy and freedom and ownership. You've actually, like in the awards we had this year, voluntary awards, we won. But I didn't pick the trophy up. It was some member of staff, the team that picked the trophy up. And unfortunately, they had to give a speech as well, which terrified them. And they kept looking at me. You need to be doing this. No, it's not me. I haven't won it. It's not me. I'm not here. 24 hours a day. It's just my idea type of thing. But it's you that's driving it. You hold the vision. And God, the difference it made to them, the confidence that they had when they came off the stage, and they really did a bloody good talk. I would look at it, I couldn't have done that. Thanked everybody, was articulate, was calm. And I'm thinking, whoa, fair play for you, brilliant. Again, another hidden talent. Unless you try them, you have no idea.
So you've kind of created a platform on which people can experiment and get
Absolutely.
And you don't know how, you can't plan this, can you?
No.
It's we're going to provide this, we'll provide some ground rules or values.
Basic stuff.
Stuff, yeah.
But it's really hard for me looking in. I've learned a lot about myself because I want to control it. I want to tell them that they're doing it wrong. I want to help them do it right. It is stomach churning it sometimes, because you want to go, why have you done that? What bit of you thought that I was right? You know, like a parent. And I have to hold myself back and I go, so how do you think that went? Oh, it went really well. Did it? So there's a, you know, and I'm not right. I know I'm not right, and I have no right to put that on them. But it's the level of frustration. You want it done now. For goodness sake, can't you see that? Just get on with it. For goodness sake, come on, move the equipment, or do this.
But that's that system thing, isn't it? You have to nudge and influence it. But,
continuously. So it's a hell of a learning journey, and but also the battles we have outside the gym, because we want to be different. We want to be organic, self-organizing, trusting, kind of evolutionaries in terms of we want to be different. We don't want to be another gym, and we don't want to be like any other organizations. We have to change the mindset of the people coming in, because they look at me and go, boss, what do I do now, boss? I'm not your boss. I'm a volunteer. Yeah, but you own it, don't you? Well, no, I don't. It's a charity. Yeah, but it's your equipment. It doesn't matter whether it's my equipment. I'm part of the team. So it's that concept for change. And then, of course, all the influences outside, the local authorities, the council, insurers, all come in. They want risk assessment, manual handling, hierarchy, who's in charge, where's the command, and you think, oh, no, we're not that. It's just a real battle almost every day, daily. And that's the hard bit. We're trying to change. But I would say 90% of the things that we deal with are the opposite. So they draw us back into the hierarchical stuff, to the point that we just make it up. There's a lot of, we just make it up. We've got, have you got this, this, and this? Yes. And then we look on the web, download it, change it to High Street Fitness. So yeah, well, we don't operate that way. yeah, but you've got to have it. Why?
Half the time, we can read it, well, they just tick the box and that's it.
Yeah. And we're not at the stage yet. I think we will be once we get 2 or 3 gyms and we become a little bit more powerful, that we're able to say we're not doing that. I don't care if you're a local authority, we don't do it that way. We don't have this in place. Sickness policy, we're volunteers. I said, if anybody's sick, we look after them, cover their shift, and hope that we've supplied, like I won't mention the name, but a young lad he lives on his own, just out of prison. And he was sick over Christmas, and I knew, and my colleague knew, Dan, that he didn't have any food. He didn't have any way to pay his heating bill, so we paid his heating bill and sent a food parcel in. And I don't think you get that in organisations, hierarchy. So it's a way of just employing that lad was tough, because he's done 12 years in prison. He arrived with us. He's already a qualified PT because of the prison service. Lovely, honestly, goodness me, brilliant. Lived in there, fit, welcoming. And then the local authority wouldn't deal with us because he has a sentence longer than 2 years, which I've never heard of. Again, learning. They say, oh, we can't deal with you. You've got somebody near this, too high risk. Bizarre. I said, hang on now, this guy's.
Timpsons do it though. Timpsons. I wonder how Timpsons get on with that sort of thing.
Yeah, but I think it's because we got 14-year-olds, because we run classes 14 to 18. Like coming into the gym, you don't, stop lifting heavy, stop taking steroids, and just get fit. So we got those type of classes going on in here, and they just felt it was a risk, and we ignored it. We said, no, sorry, we've done our own risk. He's done a check, background check. It was for something else than not for anything for children. But again, I didn't tell him that. So I thought, if I tell him that actually the local authority will not fund this or provide you with anything because of your background, it'd been heartbreaking for him. We're building that. We're giving him a role. He's getting confident. He's getting back to society again. He's actually too tired.
Doing everything that you're supposed to do.
And literally too tired to go off and do any criminal activity. He's the hardest thing he's ever done in his life, which is work. And suddenly we're giving them the responsibility. So, well, yeah, I'm not telling you what time to come in. It's up to you. You decide. Oh, exactly. He's there all day. You know, so it's a huge difference. But I think it's coming. You know, like we said right at the beginning, Martin, I think the time's right now where we go, this tool setup, this hierarchical, top-down, pyramid-type organizations, but they're dead for me. I couldn't work in one of those, even if, you know, it doesn't matter if I was at the top. If I was at the top, I'd destroy it. You know, literally go in it, because that's not what we're not. That's what we're not about. It's a different mindset, and we need to be rebels. We need to kind of now start gathering all this information and saying, right, these are doing it, they're doing it. You know, that in an impossible world is doing it. It works. But you know, and a lot of people will look at our, I don't know, if we did go under, if we did fail, they go, see, it doesn't work. Well, no, that's normal business. Yeah. All businesses fail. It doesn't matter what structure you have. But I tell you what, I prefer this way of doing it, because I know all of these people out here will make it work. They you know, they live here. They do parties, you know, fitness parties with balloons and discos. And I don't ask them to do that. They say, oh no, on Sunday, a couple of people want to do a party and disco. And there it is. And then suddenly we've got 20 new members. I walk in on it thinking, what on earth? There's a rave going on, you know, all the kind of, and there's a fitness class in the whole gym, and people are absolutely loving it because it's so different. So it's not, it's community driven, and that's lovely.
Yeah, kind of people. I think that really going back to, as you say, business and stuff like that. You know, you've got the optimistic tech capitalists that think, oh well, it's all right, we're just going to have this technology thing, it's going to save the planet. No, it's brass tracks on it. It's like, you know, all right, we need to solve problems, you know, which you've got to do on a regular basis when you first starting out, especially.
Yeah.
You've got to be like supporting, educating people,
yeah,
and saving the planet's biosphere, and you know, anything outside of that at the moment in this present world is kind of like surplus to requirements, isn't it?
Yeah, absolutely. I totally agree, and I think that's where we've got a reason to change now. We have, you know, the evidence I think is quite clear that, you know, if we don't change our business practices, we're not going to be around. All right, I might make a quick buck for, you know, and enjoy myself because I'm at the end of my career for 12, but the legacy I leave is horrific for the younger generation. And I just think that we also need to now start showing that you don't have to run an organization like the business plan model or this. It's just not. It's not real. It's not human. And I think the more we peel away the layers, and the more I get people like this, these are the most disadvantaged type individuals that, you know, I would say out of my 22 volunteers, there's at least 6 you would never employ. You look at their CV, or look at them as individuals, not a chance. They're bloody brilliant. Yeah. You know, they all have their issues. Some don't work mornings, some can't, you know, get depressed on the weekend. Some suffer from anxiety if the gym's full. Some don't like noise. It is a real, but it's human, isn't it? It's real. We say, right, don't work on a Saturday because it's going to be really noisy.
But you're creating a community thing that's supporting people.
Absolutely. Yeah.
That's it, isn't it? It's like,
yeah. You know, and our recruitment policy again, you know, because I keep going back into the way we recruit people into organizations. We want them to fit our model. Whereas here we go, I don't know, you're coming in, have a look, try it, see if you like us, work for a couple of, you know, shifts, and if you like it, then great. If you don't, well, you know, fantastic. But you can still have a 3 months membership or 2 months, you know, training. The amount of people who come in and go, well, I can only do a Wednesday. Lovely, do a Wednesday. Really? I thought you want more. No, Wednesday's fine. You can do an hour on a Wednesday, and they you know, from 9:30 till 2, we have about 3 or 4 single mothers that come in and clean, cover the gym, because they drop the kids off in school, and they either go home and eat and get depressed, or they come in the gym here and never been in a gym, by the way, and now suddenly they're doing a little bit of gym, they're showing people what to do because they've never done it, but so they understand and empathize with the people that are coming in the gym. But I got 3 or 4 of them on the desk, and it's like you know, you go in and of course I get a booze as the male, but you know, it's just again a lovely community spirit, and but they don't work evenings and they won't work weekends. Why? Because they've got children. You know, so it's a lovely kind of juggling of all the kind of mess we have in the community.
Complex, and yeah, brilliant. Right, well, let's see, what if someone else was thinking about starting something, what's the biggest learning, do you think, from all of this? If you were advising someone and saying, well, what was the biggest learning point?
You've got to be absolutely 100% passionate about what it is you're going to do, not for the money. So if you're going in it for the money or to make yourself rich and to come up with the next world-beating idea, you'll fall on your backside. You won't last. And not necessarily that might not happen, because a lot of people it does. Gymshark is another example, wonderful example. But they work hard. They work, and I think if you're prepared to know what it is you make a difference to, because that's what you sell to. Every volunteer out there will know why we're here. They'll know, regardless of the money, they'll know about the fact that we're here to make a difference in this deprived environment. So the passion of what you do, know exactly what it is you're trying to achieve, and bloody hard work. It is. I know it's a famous expression, and 99% perspiration or 1% inspiration. And it is. The inspiration bit is easy. Everybody's inspired. It's just you've got to be the one to go off and do it. You've got to do the action. You've got to live it. You've got to kind of not talk about it. Because I've learned more in this last kind of 3 to 4 years trying to get this charity off the ground than I probably have in 20, 30 years of business. Because I always worked in public sector. I always worked for an organization or in an organization. Setting up DNA was really easy. That was a kind of organic morphing, but not as tough as I've just done this last 3 years. It literally has absolutely exhausting at times, exhausting, and but you've got to keep thinking of what you're trying to achieve. And I got to the point where if somebody put a barrier in front of me, it was a challenge. I didn't see it as a barrier. I thought, right, I'll have you.
Come on.
I'll prove you wrong. And everything I did was literally about that. It's like, oh, I'll prove you wrong. And I think that's what I would now coach into somebody. I would say, look, when you run your business, start your business, you're going to hit this, and this. Prove them wrong. You know what it is you want to achieve. You know that this is going to be make a good difference in people's lives. Prove them wrong. And do it, because there's so many people out there that want to see it fail. And it's really odd. I've never come across that in my life, but it's like, honestly, the Lord, it's the amount of people want to go, yeah, that won't work. You'll fail.
What do you think? Why do you think that is? Why do you think that people? I mean, you see a lot of bigger organisations trying to make it hard work for smaller people that want to do something differently. Well, what do you think it is about the human race?
Power, conformity, but I think I heard once a story that was said about Welsh. It's called I'm sure it's a wider story. The lobster pot effect, and it's more so here in Wales than I've seen anywhere else. But it is everywhere. Is that when you put a load of lobsters in a pot and you start to warm it up, and they'll climb out, or one will try to get to the top, and then what happens is the lobster will pull that one back. And I think that's what we've got here in Wales. That is without a doubt, people trying to drag you back and say, look, I'm miserable. I'm working for this organization. I'm not, I hate getting up in the mornings. You need to be like me. How dare you enjoy your work? How dare you go to work, working bloody hard, but feeling good about it. Whereas most people work hard and feel, really miserable about it. And I think that's but I think it's just human nature to we're conditioned to be in a certain way. My parents, always wanted me to be either an electrician or a fitter in the works. And then when I said, well, actually, I'm going into sport and leisure, and I want to be a manager, and I want to be this and that, they were distraught. You're never going to think anything of yourself. But and again, that's why I think now we need our education to change. We need our grassroots to change. We need the real evolutionaries to rebel against all of this and start kind of saying, we've had enough. We're going to do it different, and you're not going to stop us. But you every day, without a doubt, you'll meet somebody who'll say you can't do that. Naysayers, sorry, no, that's not happening. You're not going to do it that way. Prove them wrong. And I think there's a lot of people out there now, like yourself, that's there to support and there to say, well, actually, you can do it. Absolutely, prove them wrong.
Brilliant. Thank you very much.
No worries, man. Thank you. Thanks for the invite. you.